We're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive.
I don't think anybody in my circle understands him.
Okay, there we is. There we is. We got about 6,700 people looking.
6,700.
6,711.
6,711 already?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we must have blew up crazy.
6,711.
Listen, we're going to be talking a little bit about numbers today. The title is already talking about numbers, to be honest with you. 99% of people got a problem.
99?
99% of people got a problem.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Most people are in the same bucket.
And right in the same boat, in the same bucket. They got holes in their bucket. They're taking on water.
Someone needs a life vest.
Can you guys let us know if you can hear us clearly?
Can you hear us properly? Properly hear us?
We're gonna be sending out some life vests.
Everybody get ready. The life vests are on the way. Got a little delay, so once I get some feedback from the chat that y'all can hear us.
Yes. There's a yes. Got
Yes.
one yes.
Okay,
All right.
got one yes.
Got two
Okay,
yes.
two
Got
yeses.
3 yes. Can I get a 4?
Okay. All right, excellent. So tonight, first of all, let me say thank you all for taking your time to spend with us tonight. We got a message for you. You know what I'm saying? We always gonna come with some fire. And I wanted to talk about fire because it's cold.
It's really cold.
We in Texas. It's chilly.
It's like 20 degrees.
30. It's 30 degrees.
He dropped an extra 10. That 10 makes it
It
different.
feel like 20.
There's a difference between 20 and 30.
It's
Yeah,
30. It's 30 degrees. It's freezing, and it's Texas, and it's not supposed to do that.
It's not
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to be
true.
freezing in
So
Texas.
30 in Texas is 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Is basically. I really hope that you all have been getting a lot of good benefit from the content we've been putting out lately. I've been working my butt off. This is literally we just stacking gems on top of gems on top of nuggets.
But not them diamonds. We put in sapphires and rubies and emeralds. You know what I'm saying? The diamonds, man, we ain't worried about the diamonds, man.
Them chaos emeralds.
Man,
Chaos Emeralds.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So today we're going to be getting into a couple of different things, but I wanted to get us started off by just kind of setting the tone and for a lot of you all, just because of his level of visibility, you guys may not be as familiar with Coach Mel, otherwise known as Animated Mel. For those of you guys who came to our retreat, you got a treat. You came to the retreat, you got a treat. You got an opportunity to get animated with Mel.
Mhm.
Hey.
And I actually got some feedback from some of the ladies at the retreat that were talking about they still practice some of the things that you taught them to this very day. So that's powerful because
Yes.
a lot of people, they don't take good advice. A lot of people don't take good advice.
Something like 99%, huh?
99%, listen, 99% of people don't understand how to take good advice. Y'all in the chat talking about the weather more than anything else.
Hey, the weather is real out here,
Hey,
man.
it is definitely real.
Shout out. Yeah. So one of the things that I requested of Mel a while ago was that he put together a program for the group to help round us out. What I want you guys to kind of understand as far as like my thought process, my goal is to bring a collection of people who have skills and knowledge that I don't necessarily possess or I'm not an expert at, so we can round this off and also keep everything balanced. So it's not just, Chris teaching from his perspective. And Mel was somebody that I was really hoping to get on board because of how he has such a unique perspective on things. And, he challenges me. His challenges come from left field. Like He don't even be mean in the challenge. He just be like, Chris, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, yes, it does. It does make sense. And he'd be like, are you sure? I saw this commercial with Kobe Bryant and Kanye West. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If y'all don't know that commercial, look it up after the show. Look it up. It's hilarious. But basically, Kobe Bryant is basically talking to Kanye, but I guess what he's saying is so high level that Kanye can't comprehend what Kobe Bryant is saying. It's just a hilarious commercial, and it just reminded me of Mel. But so today, Mel, I want you to talk a little bit about bad habits, specifically, but whatever else kind of you're in the mood to chat about. And I want you to display, like, let's learn something tonight, man. Why are bad habits a problem to begin with?
Well, bad habits are the detriment to the reasons that we fail at a lot of things that we're choosing to pursue in life. And the reason why I started to get involved in, I guess mindsets, or cognitive behavioral therapy and things of that nature is because of the environments that I grew up in. And so coming from an environment that's not the most productive, I'm from Cincinnati, I'm
The
from
hood,
that's
the
the hood.
street.
No, Cincinnati isn't the hood, but the hood, the city, the town that I was in is the hood. It's Cincinnati.
Wait,
What part? Well, okay, Cincinnati has changed recently.
Well, because Cincinnati's big. Oh, it's small but big, So
Man,
I'm
the
from
whole city is hood.
I'm from Roseline, but I was
The hood.
grew up in English Woods, and you can do your Googles and look up the history of those neighborhoods. It's not the most prominent. It's not the most prominent, when it comes to, being a productive member of society. But, reflecting on my life and seeing a lot of things that has happened, I realized that, man, we are in a cycle that is continuing. And that's one of the things that I want to break. I want to be able to break the cycle of destruction that's happening within our neighborhood. So that's like some of the main motivations that inspired me to do this stuff, because I grew up around people, at least I grew up around people that were very dear to me. And then when they became teenagers and they started becoming adults, slowly and surely, some started dying. Most ended up in jail. Some ended up on drugs. And it's me being in this environment and seeing this isn't good, and just seeing the ones that I really loved being slowly taken away. And you turn on the news and my mom's hitting me up like, oh, I saw Edwan on the news and he got locked up. Or you see this other guy, they got passed away, or he got shot, or it's destructive things that happen, and it's because of the environments that we're in. And a lot of times we get our mindsets because of the environments that we're in. If you hang around people who are destructive, you're naturally going to become a destructive person.
Yeah.
Granted, there are exceptions to that rule, but 99 times out of 100, you're going to be the one that's that's going to go down that path that's not productive to your life. And so with that in mind, I said, you know what? I have to break that cycle. I want to be able to break that cycle and teach people that they can be better than their circumstances. And as it relates to our health, a lot of times when we're on our health journey, we have these situational moments where, like, we'll see someone, we'll get inspired and we'll get motivated, and we'll be like, you know what? I want to do that. And then it'll be a temporary thing. We'll temporarily do it. Maybe let's give it 3 weeks to a month or so. And then we'll fall off that wagon, and then we'll end up right back where we're starting. And so, like, a lot when we did the fasting challenge, people going through the cleanse and they're going through their fast. A lot of times people go through that fast and then they end up like worse off. Not not everyone, but some people, they end up worse off than where they started, and then they don't know why they got there. And it's because of your mindset, it's because of your habits, it's because of your behaviors. So if we understand and learn about the bad habits that keep us from being where we should be, then we can become better individuals. We can you can, if you want to lose weight, you can stick on that habit, or you can stick on that routine and stay within the behaviors that's going to get you to where you want to go. Because
you made it. I just wanted to hold on, Mel. Hold on. Let's unpack a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
It's Christmas time.
You made a good Christmas. It's the Chinese New Year.
Yeah,
or
Chinese,
something like
Chinese
that.
New Year, something like that.
You said that you were talking about people having issues with essentially, being successful with their actual fast, right? The fast itself, but then after the fact, not only kind of falling backwards, but almost ending up worse than where you were when you started.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really good point as it relates to mindset and behaviors. Now, Stephen, I'm actually curious to know what you think about this particular point, because you did a lot of yo-yoing, right, through your fasting journey, and I'm curious to know, what do you feel about what Mel just said about behaviors, mindset, and as it relates to what you actually dealt with?
The interesting thing is that as he was talking, I mean, you probably would have saw me. I'm shaking my head because it's true, right? Your habits and your decisions, your choices are who you become. And as Mel stated, they're ingrained into us. They are who they are us. So your habits are always going to be what you fall back on, period. Anytime there's high levels of stress, your habits are always going to be what you fall back on. So what we have to do is we have to, of course, change our habits. And then there's also another piece to it, which is kind of the science piece, right? So it is your habits. That is the problem. Also, we have to, when we understand the reasoning or why that's happening, that helps us, and we can kind of understand that as well. And to that point, right, I did a talk about our body and how we don't like our people, right? We don't typically like talking about BMI, especially if we're bigger, because we like to use that as an excuse. Oh, I'm just a little bit bigger because I got muscle, right? I did it, right? We like to use that as an excuse. When we understand the science behind it, and we understand that our body has a basal metabolic rate, it burns calories at a specific level to then maintain our weight, right? When we understand that, when we go through periods of fasting, what do? Right? Let's paint this picture. Mel said that they go through the program, or they go through a process, they'll lose weight, and then they will then yo-yo, right? The reason that you're yo-yoing is because you have not changed those habits. The habits that you had before you came into a program or before you started are still there, right? And what happens is, the science behind that is that your BMR actually decreases, so your metabolism actually goes down, which it should do that, right? But it does that because your body's intelligent, and it says, well, you've lost 30 pounds. I don't need to then burn calories in the same way that I would burn them before, right? So it just makes sense. The body's very intelligent. It's not going to overwork. It's just like when you go to your job, and if you're getting paid $10 an hour, you're not going to work that job like you're getting paid $100,000 a year, right? That just wouldn't make sense. You're going to overwork yourself. You're going to burn yourself out. The body's very, very intelligent. It does the same thing. So what happens is that we don't change our habits. We don't change our behaviors. And then we go back to doing what we typically did before, right? And the biggest part here is eating the course of the food, but also the quantity of food, because that is what we normally do. That is our set behavior. That's our set habit. And then because we are then eating the same amount that we did before, we will start adding weight because your metabolism has gone down a little bit. And that's absolutely normal. If you take a person from the 600-pound life and you compare them to somebody that's 120 pounds, the person that's on the 600-pound life is going to have a much stronger metabolism, right? And they think, oh, I have a slow metabolism. No, your metabolism is higher. You're not going to typically, unless you have a diagnosable issue, your metabolism is not going to be higher than somebody who's 600 pounds. It's all yours always going to be lower because their body requires more energy to move them. That's why you have semi trucks and tractor trailers that may have 500 horsepower, but they're slow, right? Because they require more power to move them. So I did not realize that until this year.
Wow.
I mean, it took me, because honestly, like I didn't have AJ that was like packaging this information for me, right? A lot of this stuff has come from us and what we do and then working with people, but I didn't truly understand that. I just thought, well, I can just lose the weight and my life will be good. So what Mel teaches in this program is a direct benefit to like your fasting journey. So you work on the physical and you then work on the mental after and during, right? And then you make those changes. You see how those changes have affected you. Are they working, right? And then you go back to working on the physical. You continue to work on the mental, right? And then there's always this kind of this back and forth, but you're always continuing moving forward as well.
And see, this is the reason why it's important to like the way I started off this live. It's important to have different people because what you're basically saying is one of the missing pieces for you was learning how to deal with your behaviors, your bad habits, and all your mindset. And so
correct. I was dealing a lot with my emotions and handling those because that was one of my core issues. And I thought, oh, well, this is what I need to do, and this will solve my problems, right? I need to lose weight, need to deal with my emotions, need to work on spirituality, right? Emotion or habits were not even, I didn't even think about it. So,
well, this is what I'm talking about, Mel's perspective. So, Mel, basically what I think that we've really just unpacked here is how important it is to really be doing this stuff simultaneously if you can. And one of the things that I struggle with is putting too much content into one program, or you know what I mean, like expecting too much from people. So let's continue to kind of unpack what it is that you know you're teaching really, and how it can help people who are already in one of our challenges or coming off the challenge, or maybe they want to do the challenge but they know mindset is a big issue for them.
Most definitely. For those who were at the retreat, you all got a little taste. You got a little sample size of the habits course, in a sense, if I could say that. But when you're on this health journey, you're naturally going to do what's natural to you. You're going to, like, if there's not someone there who's going to, I guess, be there like, hey, you have to do this, you're going to naturally just get into a habit of doing what you're usually doing. And so I'm here to check those habits, because if you don't check them, you will not become the best version of yourself. So being able to, like, if you're fasting and you say you'll give up meat or you'll give up dairy for this 30-day fast that you're doing. You do that for that 30 days. But then after this 30-day fast is over, you be like, okay, I did that. I feel good. I feel successful. And now you just want to go back to eating the way that you used to, when that is actually more detrimental to your health. And that should not be something that you do. So you have to get out of that habit of eating things that aren't beneficial to your overall growth. And so you have to learn, you have to understand that, yes, it tastes good. I love cheesecake. Oh, cheesecake tastes so good. I love milkshakes. I love all these things that taste good. I love donuts. Donuts are really good.
Vegan versions.
Yeah. All that. This Krispy Kreme, all this stuff, it tastes so good, but it's bad. It's so horrible for us. You also have to think and remember that a lot of things that they put in the foods like that taste so good, they put addictive substances in it. They put those addictive substances in it because they know that people are going to get back into it. And so if you make the conscious effort, and trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy. But if you make that conscious effort to be like, you know what, I'm going to take accountability for myself. Take accountability for yourself. Write down the things that you're doing. Write down where you want to be. Remind yourself. Take pictures, take videos, do all these things to remind yourself of where you want to be. If you get into the habit of writing stuff down, or either just maybe even recording a video of yourself being or telling yourself affirmations of where you want to be, then you can be like, you know what? Because it takes a certain period of time before a habit just becomes second nature. You know, it won't happen in a week or 2 weeks. It'll take a decent amount of time for that to kick in. But once that happens, you'll be on the road to where you want to be. Because when you're brushing your teeth, you're not even thinking about that. You just do it. You grab the toothpaste, you grab your right hand, you're not thinking about it. It's a habit that you've grown over time, that you've got accustomed to doing over time. So once you get into the habit of doing something that's more beneficial to your health and that's pushing you in a better direction, then you will unconsciously just be like, you know what? You won't even go towards the dairy sections in the grocery stores. You won't even go towards the processed sections of the grocery store. Like when I go to Whole Foods, or if I go to any kind of grocery store, I just shop on the outside. I just consciously shop on the outside. That's it. Unless I want to get some dried mangoes, you know, you got to go inside.
You got to go inside and get the
dried mangoes. I like the dried mangoes.
They're not on the edge.
They ain't on the edge, you know. So, and the funny thing is, it's just like I didn't realize that until I was just like, man, I didn't, because usually I just go every aisle, snake.
That's how we were taught. Just go up every aisle and see whatever you need, and then you got all the stuff that you don't even need.
And now it's just become second nature for me to just, you know what, I'm gonna grab this, because typically things that are not within the aisles are going to be more beneficial for you. Typically, you know, it just depends on how the grocery store is laid out. But typically, if it's not within those aisles, it's going to be good for you.
Mel, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Well, first I have a statement. Then I have a question. Because I gotta
Save the question.
Set it up. Yeah, I gotta set it up, man. I gotta set it up. So okay, so one of the things that I teach in the R72 is emotional eating, right? And it's something that a lot of people deal with, and habits are, I mean, they're literally married, right? Emotional eating habits are married. But one of them, I give a tool, right? And one of the tools that I provide is learning your hunger cues, right? So understanding that you individually will find hunger in a couple different ways, right? And just having the knowledge of that, like, wait a minute, I've never even heard of hunger cues. What does that mean, right? Just having the knowledge of that can automatically get you to start making changes. So for example, when you are hungry, or when you decide that you want to eat, there should be a couple things that you're looking for. Number one, and Chris has talked about this, before, right? So the thing that we normally go off of is our stomach, and we feel that hunger, and we gurgle in our stomach, right? But we understand that is just simply due to a hormone, right, called ghrelin, that has then been released based upon the habits that we have set for it. So the times that we eat, which are habits, then your body learns that, and then it releases a hormone that is going to then start the digestive process so it can digest the food easier, right? So that is not a hunger cue. And most people think it is. Like, oh, my stomach is growling, I'm hungry, right? So you really need to have 2 hunger cues before you then decide I'm going to eat. And you should only be eating when you feel your cues. These are going to be a little different for everybody. This is a little nuanced, right? So I'll just talk about mine. So for example, one of my hunger cues is that I get a little weak, right? So I just feel weak. Not like, oh, I'm going to the gym and I can't press the weight weak, but almost a little shaky. You don't want to get to the point. Now there's levels of intensity to these. So if you get to the point where you're like really shaky and you're like, oh my God, I'm too shaky, you've gone too far, right? But my primary hunger cue is I get a little shaky, right? Some people, it might be a headache. Some other people, they might get blurry vision. Some people will get dizzy, right? These are all hunger cues. And, there's not a ton of them, but everyone has their own little thing. They just need to know which one is theirs, right? So number one, you need to have a physical hunger cue that tells you, hey, I'm hungry, right? And then number two, the second thing that you need to have is a desire to eat, right? So this is where people may be thinking, well, Stephen, I get these things when I'm fasting. Maybe my body's telling me I need to eat. No, the second part of this is you need to have a desire to eat, right? And this comes into place also when we think about we're feeling sick. When you're feeling sick, you may be hungry, right? You may have the flu and you're like, man, I'm hungry, but you don't have a desire to eat because you know if you eat, you're going to throw up, right? So in turn, you should not eat. So if you have a physical hunger cue and you have a desire to eat at that point, you should eat, right? Something that is acceptable for that level of hunger that you're at. If you don't have both of them, then you should not eat. And this was one of the things that I learned. And when I learned it, then it took me a while to really start understanding and implementing it. But when I did, I finally was able to do OMAD because I told Chris, like, he's always like, yo, you should do OMAD, you should do OMAD. I'm like, I can't do OMAD. Like, I can't do it. And I finally was able to then start doing OMAD on, just on my refeeding days and stuff because I understood, okay, I'm emotionally eating. Like, and a lot of people are emotional eaters. 99% of people are emotional eaters, right? And it's not a bad thing. It's not like a disease or a label. It just is what it is. Like we're humans, we're emotional beings,
right.
We're spiritual. So understanding that one little piece, that's one little, was so beneficial to me. My question for you is, what would you say, or what could you tell us that would be one little piece of something that maybe one tool that maybe people don't have or that they could use to start creating or removing bad habits? So something you can do to start ones or something you could do to get rid of, right? So I'm
gonna need you to reach in your bag a little bit on this.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like you don't gotta go too deep, but you know what I mean? Give them
I need you to reach in your bag because
we got to give you value regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like
we need a tool, Mel. Come on now.
Oh man.
I know I put you on the spot.
Oh man. Well, it's all good. I like spots. Right now we're in the cold spot.
Yeah, definitely.
The heat is on, but
I mean but we need to get a little closer, man.
One thing that we need to do is remind ourselves that we are human and that we aren't these superior beings, but we are also extraordinary. Anything that we set our minds to, we are capable of doing. Like anything, if you want to go to the gym or if you want to buy a car or if you want to, whatever it is that you set your mind to, you put your intention on it and then you go do it. So one thing that I would say is that we need to be more aware of our self-sabotaging behavior. A lot of times we tell ourselves that we can't do something. We tell ourselves that we're mad. Right. Yeah. we tell ourselves we can't do something before we even attempt to do it. It's just like, bro, you need to give yourself a chance.
This just shows in live. Like, I literally was like, I can't do it. I never even really tried. Like, it was a bad habit.
We are like, do not underestimate yourself. A lot of people, they underestimate themselves before they even try something just because it's something they've never done and it appears challenging. It appears challenging. But once you do it, oh my God. When I was a kid, I used to be afraid of this roller coaster. I used to be afraid of this roller coaster at Kings Island.
What's the name of it?
It's Drop Zone.
Oh,
I used to be afraid of this roller coaster called the Drop Zone. When we would go to school, we would go on field trips. Everyone they would get on the roller coaster, and I'd just be waiting for my friends to come off. When my family we would go, my brother he would get on, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna wait right here because it looked intimidating.
Yeah,
you get on that bad boy, it raises up so slow, and then it drops down real fast. I was just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good on that. But then when I started becoming more brave,
Ooh.
I guess you could say. I was like, you know what? This is when I was leaving Ohio, moving out of Ohio, and was hanging out with my friends. It was just like, this will be our last time hanging out with you, and I was just like, all right. I got on it, and I was just like, y'all better lock me in here before I change my mind.
Right.
Lock me in.
Oh, they're gonna lock you in, all right.
Because if I commit, I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, that's it. That's what it is. It's happening.
Mhm.
And so I got on the drop zone and got on the ride, rose up, got to the top, saw the city and everything. Was like, oh, this is nice. Da, 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 da. Ah! And I was just like, afterwards, I was just like, this was nothing. It was, dude, I'm telling, it was nothing. It was all in my mind.
Mm.
I was literally thinking that this ride was going to be, oh, it's so oppressive. It was all in my mind. And now when I see that ride, I'm just like, oh, that's easy money.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
You
love
know?
it.
So I'm just like, do not let things that seem like it's scary put fear in you,
Mm.
because you're bigger than those obstacles, man.
Come on
Like
now.
you're way more important, and the things that you want to accomplish, they're way more important than this fear that's temporary.
Mm.
Because like, just think about it, when you're a kid, training wheels, you riding a bike, you hurt yourself.
Mhm.
You had to learn, oh, you scarred. But once you get on that bike and you start learning and you get the balance, you're not afraid. You're like, you know what? I want to get a motorcycle when I get older. You know,
Yeah,
you take
yeah.
it to the extreme. And so just be aware that the things that seems like it's challenging, or it creates this fear in you, do not allow that to be the reason why you don't succeed. And also be aware of your self-sabotaging behavior and telling yourself that you can't do something before you actually do it, because you are capable.
Mm.
Mm.
Woo.
You know what that reminds
He
me?
just warmed it up a little bit in here.
Yeah, I definitely got a little warmer. It definitely reminds me of, like, the stuff I hear all the time. I was talking to my friend today about choose fasting, because he's like, I can't do water fast, Steve. I know what you do. And I'm like, okay, but let's talk about something else, right? And he was like, yeah, man, I don't know if I can do a whole day though. Like, I gotta at least have a meal, and he's like, I just kept saying I can't do it. And I'm like, have you ever tried it? And he was like, I mean, no, that's why I'm talking to you. And I'm like, well, how do you know you can't do it? Like, so what you're saying is 100% correct. And I can verify that in my own story I just told, as well as I hear it all the time from clients and friends that reach out. Like, I can't do this. You haven't even tried it.
Mm.
So it's the same thing with you with Drop Zone. Like, you never tried it. But then as soon as you did, you're like, oh, I can do this.
This is the reason why it's important to have dialogue. One thing I was thinking about this recently. There are certain people who they just keep to themselves. They just keep to themselves naturally. They don't like sharing. They don't probe. They don't ask questions. They're just kind of going through life. And I think we were kind of chatting about. I'm like, bro, we humans are people. They need to be around other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, humans need to be able to interact, and there's many reasons for that. Love. Obviously you learn from each other. If you observe children, you have a young child with a child that's a little bit older, the young child will start that older child. But that never goes away, right? We continue to need that type of support from each other. And this ties into something that you said earlier that I hope people didn't miss, which was essentially you are the sum total of the 5 people, or the people that you spend the most of your time with. And so we're talking about bad habits, but it gets a little more dicey when you start talking about the people that encourage bad habits, the people that in your life that are bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, grab me some Chick-fil-A.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Those people, those relationships, those toxic trauma bonds that you done. So could you speak to the importance of having the right type of people around you, number one, but also, like, how do we identify when people aren't good for us?
Man, that has been like the bane of my life in a sense, because there's a lot of things that happen in my life where I'm unconsciously affected. Like,
Yeah.
like I said, I come from Cincinnati. I come from the hood. And a lot of things that seem normal, that's why I guess I have a different perspective or a different mindset when it comes to a lot of things. And y'all be like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that. And so, like, coming from having personal experience, you know, Chris and Steven and even Anthony, I saw you in the chat. Anthony.
He's probably gone now.
Right, he probably popped in real quick.
Anthony, probably, hey, shout out to you, Anthony. But I've been around these three people, you know, for the bulk of my life. You know, I've known Chris since I was like 14. And that's over 2 decades. You know, I've known him for over 2 decades, you know. And prior to like our relationship when we first met, my first meeting him, I didn't like him, you know. And
How do you not like me? I mean, you weren't always Chris James.
but
Yeah, but always been your brother though.
Yeah.
oh, look what I'm started. But but there was something about him that was different than the environment or the people that I was around. And so I naturally just gravitated towards him, you know, whether it just be the wisdom, whether it just be a different perspective that challenged my knowing. I was just like, you know what? I've never thought about things the way he thought about it, but I am open to his perspective. And so a lot of things, even when it comes to just minute things like jewelry or fashion or just whatever, I would always be hesitant and say no, because that was drilled into me from the environment that I was in. But until I met Chris, I was like, you know what? All right, do it. Something that's probably funny, but it's just little something. I didn't wear V-necks. There became one point in time in my life, I was like, I'm not wearing no V-necks. And Chris was like, why don't you just try it out? Put on a V-neck. I was like, nah, I don't do that. I was like, nah, I don't do V-necks.
I don't do the
like,
V-necks.
nah, I don't do V-necks. You know? And but then, because for me, it takes a little bit. It takes a little bit, and then I clicked and I saw a V-neck. I tried it on. I was like, you know what? I kind of like V-necks
You
now.
got your little cut, man. It show your
Yeah.
little chest a little bit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Now I'll be looking for V-necks. Like,
Right.
What a V-necks
Y'all
at?
got this in a
V-necks
V-neck? Oh, okay.
Y'all got this as a V.
Y'all got this in the V-neck? But you know, but if it wasn't for that, or just being around people who are challenging me, I mean, that's not something crazy. That's something small, you know. But also being around Steven, he has a very joyful and a jovial personality, where he's very, you know, he's very expressive and he's a very happy person. So that just rubs off on you. And naturally, when people see me, they be like, yo, man, why you so mad? I'm like, nah, I'm not mad. This is me. This is me. You know, you just stand around just like with a mad face. Like no one wants to approach a mad face. You know, that's not welcoming, you know? And so you get around, like I met Steven when we were living in New York. He has a very outgoing personality and something that makes you like, man, I want that. Like, I want that, you know? And so I made a conscious effort to, like, when I'm, you know, I guess an RBF, you could say, I would make a conscious effort to put a little smile on my face when I am not around people, just in general, just like when I'm by myself or I'm not interacting, I would just make a conscious effort to make a little smirk on my face, because it's more welcoming. It's a more welcoming thing. So the people that you're around, they will definitely have a major influence on your life. If you hang around people who are eating horrible foods, you're going to be given into that temptations, because horrible foods taste good, but they're bad for you.
They smell good too.
They smell good. They taste good. They have all these.
They look good.
They have all these chemicals that makes you attracted to it,
Right.
but it's not good for you. So if you know what? I honestly feel like your body tells you. It tells you. Your body gives you that reaction that lets you know if you're doing something that's bettering yourself, or at least I did. Because a lot of times I would get into situations when I was growing up where I would feel like this ain't right. Like this is not right, but I would still stay there. But you would have that burning feeling, that butterfly feeling in your gut telling you like, I should not be doing this. but you do it anyway, and then something bad happens, and then after that effect happens, you're like, man, I knew I should have listened to my gut.
Yep.
You know, and that happens all the time. So I feel like our body naturally tells us what we should do, but we overthink it, and we'd be like, you know what? We ignore that feeling when we should just give in to what our body's naturally telling us. So being around good people and positive people will naturally influence you. Being around bad people will naturally influence you. So be cautious of your environment. And regardless if it's family, people you've known for years.
Yeah.
There's people I've known longer than I've known Chris, who's had, you know, we had good times in the past, but they are not beneficial to my growth in life. And just because you've known someone for a certain period of time, you had this particular connection, it does not mean that they have the right to be in your life. This is your life. You choose who you be around. You choose the places that you go, and you choose the things that you decide to get involved in with these people. So if you're around people who are doing things that aren't beneficial to your overall growth, that aren't putting you on your path of living in your purpose, you should not be around them. If you tell your friend that you're doing a fast and they're telling you something negative, you do not need to be talking to that person. You do not, regardless of how close they are, because they aren't in your body. They don't feel what you feel. You have these aches and these pains. You have these emotional disruptions that's happening because of the things that you're putting in your body. But they're just, you know what, it tastes good. You know, they're tempting you. No, get rid of those people, regardless of how close they are, because this is your life. You only have one of these that we know of. We only know that we have this one reality that we're living in. So why not choose and be in the best path and be in your best purpose and do the things that are beneficial for you to live your life to its fullest? No one wants to be in pain every day. No one wants to be like, oh man, I wish I had a choice. I wish I could do this. No, you have a choice. Choose to live a life that's beneficial to your overall growth. Choose to live a life that's going to enable you to have fun with your kids in the park without being in pain and discomfort. Choose a life that's going to allow you to be comfortable in your own skin. Like, we do these things that are destructive to our overall growth, and we hang around these people and we stay in these environments that aren't good for us. You do not have to choose that. This is your life. You make the choices. Do not let someone else, just because you've known them for a long time, be the reason why you lead a life, or you don't have the growth that you're looking for. Do not do that. So I would say be around good people, positive people. If it's not making you happy, don't do it. If it's causing you pain, get rid of it. It's simple. Simple as that.
We overthink stuff so much. This is why I think this is why you're so good at what you do. And first of all, you know, that passion is just,
I ain't never seen that before.
that passion is just, it's like the sun.
I think he's leeching off me right now.
Hey man, I told you I'm learning from Steven, man.
I ain't never seen that before.
That passion is heavy. But it comes from a place of experience. It comes from a place of knowledge, studying. When you start to understand these concepts, it almost gets frustrating, right? Because it is so simple. What is it? Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS acronym.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have another version of it, like,
do,
without
I like
saying
that
it's stupid.
one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you talked about this. You have the gut feeling, which we're only just now really starting to understand, which is
going to talk about
it's
that.
weird.
Yeah.
Okay, put a pin in there.
Okay.
It's weird because it's such a natural thing, but somehow the propaganda machine has caused us to not believe our own senses. That we all know we have that gut feeling, but yet somehow at 30 years old we're trying to rediscover it and connect with it. This is crazy, Steve. Go ahead, man.
It's real quick. So you were talking about your, being around people, and it's so interesting because there's a sixth person, right? There's a sixth person.
There's a sixth person.
There's a sixth person, and that sixth person is your bacteria. It is the bacteria in your gut, because it literally has more influence than your human cells. Like, we are actually made up, in our gut alone has more bacterial cells than human cells. So we are actually more bacteria than anything, than human, right?
Mm.
So we understand that they have influence. And you were talking about eating and going out and eating and the chemicals. The chemicals are designed to then feed the bad bacteria that we have in our body, and that bad bacteria makes you crave certain foods. So some people will say, "Oh, I can't stop eating it." Right? Well, yes, because the chemicals that you're eating from McDonald's and the Yellow 5 and and Blue 40, all these things, right? All these chemicals are designed to particularly feed bad bacteria and then starve good bacteria, which then gets you to then make unconscious decisions, which then gets you to create bad habits of then eating those things that you know you shouldn't eat. And then the kicker is what they do is it then dulls those senses. It dulls your ability to then engage and connect with that gut that gut brain axis. It dulls that sense. So then you only then feel that gut feeling when the man is cheating on you, or you only feel that gut feeling when you walk into a place and something is wrong, right? You only feel it when it is at its most extreme, because then you have adrenaline that helps kick that up as well. But you should be feeling it when you go to pick up that bag of Lay's in the grocery store, right?
True.
Your body is going to tell you, "Hey, man, Kelly, you don't need this." Like your body will talk to you, right? And it's a sixth man, right? And if you surround yourself with people and things that are beneficial to you, this is how I eventually eventually stopped eating meat. Was because I was doing it in Delaware when I was by myself, but then when I got here, you guys weren't eating meat, and I'm like, ain't no way I'm gonna come down here and start cooking up some chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something I wanted to do, but then being around people and watching them do it then showed me, oh, I could do this, right? And this is why community and being in an environment, whether it is physically or being connected to a community online, right, is so important, because you can then connect with people that are doing the things that you want to be doing. You need to be following people that are doing the things you want to do. And then now I'm at the point where I've done some of the craziest things with my last fast, the fast that I'm doing now.
Yeah, you be going ham.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been going crazy, and then now being one of the first ones to really start pushing into being a raw vegan, right? So it's like you guys have shown me things, and then I've taken that and then I put my spin on it and taken it to that next level for my life, right? And that's just how synergy works. So being in connect with other people that are doing the things you want to do, whether they are in person or online, is so important. And if you see somebody that has something you want, follow them, because it will benefit your life.
Bro, listen, hit the like button, y'all.
Hey man, these gems.
Hit the like button.
Go ahead, jump out of the live chat.
I'm not moving. We're not moving forward till we get. I need some likes in here. This is fire.
We in here, yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all a fun fact, because Steve was talking about yellow, 5, and red and all that stuff.
Yeah, you know them things.
One of the reds is made out of bug blood.
Yeah, bug
Poop?
Bug
blood.
Oh, bug. Okay.
You're talking about
the
you're talking about
beetle.
the beaver.
Oh yeah, the beaver.
About the beaver. The beaver.
Leave
So
it to
the
beaver.
natural strawberry flavoring is made out of the anal secretions of a beaver. But
trifling.
I think like red, one of the reds is they actually grind up these little bugs, and they basically are using their blood.
They juice them,
bro. It's insane, and I'm sure there's vegans that don't know that.
Oh yeah,
Because you don't. Why would you even think that the dye is bug blood? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, bro, why would you even do that? But this is the level of psychopaths that we deal with.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I'm
exactly
saying?
What they are.
Because this is essentially, you have to be psychotic. You have to have screws loose to do what they do to us. And I guess our screws are loose too, to be able to let them do. I mean, it's pretty methodical how they break it down.
Oh no, they're good.
You know?
Yeah, they're good.
But we have to take accountability. You know what I'm saying?
That's the tough part.
That's that. You know what I'm saying? Got to be accountable.
Oh, the food is around me. I don't have that. Yes, you do.
Well, this is the point of the live tonight, right? To give some tools and help people understand. So basically, as I'm listening, Mel, and thinking about, ways that if I wanted to have a certain outcome, obviously looking for people who have the outcomes I want. That's important. Look for the people that are discouraging me from things that I know that are going to be good for me, whether or not they're family, whether or not they're your best friend. There's a saying I absolutely love. I absolutely love this saying. You guys take this one and put it in your pocket.
What is it?
Don't spend your time. Don't.
He gave us the George Bush.
You fooled me once, you ain't gonna fool me again.
Fool me once. You can't be fooled again.
Oh, this is from the 40. I'm trying to think.
You know what it is.
I'm
Steve.
trying to think of it.
It's bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all
I'm
something.
trying to put it in my pocket.
I'm gonna get it. We're gonna
gonna
get
figure it
it.
out.
He's working through it.
But
He's
I'm
working through it.
gonna tell you all something though. In the past 3 days, I've probably gotten about 12 hours of sleep. Okay, so I'm running on fumes. I literally woke up at like 8 today. I was packaging boxes and all kinds of stuff.
And then root products out for y'all.
I woke up at 5:45 because I couldn't sleep. But we're not gonna get into that.
Oh,
Anyway, it's something along the lines of don't keep making a mistake just because you spent a long time making it.
that's exactly what it is. Good job.
Look at you.
It's
Look at you using your smart mind.
Well, what he was doing was, let me just cue y'all in. What he was doing was he was using one side of the brain to talk and then the other side of the brain to try to figure it out. Right? That's what happens when you be eating good. Your brain starts to fire the way that it should, right? And you don't have all that fog, and you can, you know what I'm saying? You can work through that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to cue y'all in on what was happening.
I pulled that one out.
Yeah, that was a good job because I forgot that.
That's good.
Yeah,
Say it again, man. Say it again.
He forgot it.
It's not coming out the way I want.
But that's the saying.
So I don't even want to keep saying it.
Don't.
Don't keep making mistakes just because you spent a long time making it. But
There you
that's
go.
That's the verbiage is wrong.
It sounds good, but you want a little bit more.
The verbiage
oomph in
is the verbiage is just a little bit wrong, but it's all good. We'll figure it out. We'll get it at some other point.
But it makes sense though, man. I mean, like it's just like when you start investing into something, let's say a relationship, because everyone can connect with that. You start investing to a relationship or a person, and you then realize this is not supposed to be. At that time, you need to start removing yourself, right? But what we do is, and come on now, y'all know, put a 1 in the chat. I'm about to say it. Y'all know, put a 1 in the chat if you said this. Well, I don't want to break up because we've spent so much time together. I've invested so much time, right? I've done it.
one.
Put a 1 in the chat.
One. I wish I could put a 1 in the chat.
1. I've done it. Like knowing that this is not the right person. Maybe we had a kid together, like that's an investment. Maybe we have 2 kids, that's an investment. Where all of our house, our finance are connected, that's an investment. I've invested all this time because time is literally everything. Time's first and everything else comes after that. I don't think that I can give this up. So, and what Chris is saying is that we need to stop thinking that way. It doesn't matter. If you remove yourself from that negative situation or remove yourself from that mistake or stop making that mistake, then it will benefit you in the future greater than you can ever imagine. And I learned that personally. When I cut my relationship off, my life is, I mean, I don't even recognize my life now, but it was the hardest thing because we had children, we had love, we had all these things invested, and I was trying, and I was going to die continuing to make that mistake. So
yeah, mistakes. You have something?
No, I was just about to say, like, I just remember when I was younger, my mom, she always told me that your true friends, you'll be able to count on one hand.
yeah.
You know, like people think that they have all these good, positive people in their lives, but when something actually happens and you need them, the ones that will reach out will be there for you. The ones that are true to you, the ones that, you know, that care about you versus the ones who say they care about you. Those are the people that'll be there. And it's true because it's hard. Like I've learned, like as an adult, it's actually hard to make friends you know, because you've grown into a place, and if people aren't on your frequency, you just naturally aren't going to be attracted to them, you know. And so yeah, I mean, that's all I really had to say as far as like the influence and the people that are in your life. It's very minute then, because most people say, this is my friend, this is my friend, this is my friend. So you got 100 friends. It's like, you need to relax. That's a lot of energy.
You know, the way people define things is, you know, different as well. Some people will, like, literally call someone their friend who it's really, that's just someone that they associate with. It's just like verbiage that people use.
Yeah.
But words mean things.
Words are very powerful.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure. Because I actually, one of the things I liked about your program, you got affirmations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have affirmations. I'm gonna have you talk a little bit about that in a second, but I did want to point out the saying is, don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a long time making it. Now, here's the funny thing.
Yeah, clean that one up.
Here's the funny thing. Sylvia, I think Sylvia in the chat actually put it in the chat right before I remembered what it was. So I don't know, I don't.
Maybe your third eye saw it.
I think it was. Let me see if I can find it. I think Sylvia put it in the chat, and I saw it. Yeah. Here it is. I was like, did she just project this to me? Because literally before you, and the chat is a little behind us, but before you put it in the chat, I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know. Third, I don't know.
And Sylvia, she's been in our program.
Shout out, Sylvia.
Shout out.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? That's called value.
Value.
You know what I'm saying?
And teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What is perfect. By the way, I know a couple of y'all had some questions and things. We're gonna come and clean the questions up. We're almost finished with our opening monologue.
Oh wow.
The opening monologue.
But I just I just wanted to ask, because I thought, I was like, bro, this is interesting, these affirmations. So what was it that made you want to, put that in there? Or what are the benefits of affirmations?
Man, affirmations are very, very powerful. And because it goes into the things that we tell ourselves, it kind of ties in with self-sabotaging behavior, but in the reverse. Because if you tell yourself that you can't do something, that is an affirmation.
Yeah.
It's an affirmation. You can tell yourself that you can't do something, and then you will subconsciously start to believe it. But if you start to tell yourself that you can do something, you will start doing it. And it'll take time. It'll build up the courage, but you will eventually move into that path that confirms those affirmations. So telling yourself that I am, saying I am, is very powerful. Man, it is very powerful when you start something with I am and then finish that, because that will confirm exactly what you are. I am successful. I am beautiful. I am confident. I am focused. I am determined. These things, when you say that, especially if you have a goal in mind, saying those things will become another habit. You will become natural when it comes to just telling yourself positive things. And don't get me wrong, there are things that when we face them that will unconsciously be like, I don't know if I can do that, but remember, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I am capable of doing this. I am focused on doing this. I will do this. I am going to do this. And that's why I feel, especially when it comes to your health and when it comes to your diet, if you tell yourself that, like, man, okay, you've completed, or you've attempted to do the 30-day fast and you fell a little short. You fell a little short, but you still did it, but you just fell a little short from where you want to get to. Okay. Doesn't mean the fight's over.
Right.
That's not it. That's not, oh, well, it happened. That's it. I can't ever do it again in life.
Right.
It's like you have more than one chance to get something right in life, So saying those affirmations, especially when you're fasting, will not only give you more encouragement, it will start to enable you to accomplish what you're looking to accomplish, So especially when you're fasting, because I know fasting it's a very challenging thing, especially because you're looking forward to eating something. You have that pain and you just give in to, you know what? I'm gonna just sneak a little bite in or something. You have to
do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Because that's one way to get off the path of greatness. And so affirmations are powerful because there's energy behind those words. There's meaning behind those words. And for me, when I say my affirmations, and I'm a very committed person, so if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it. And last year I had a goal, which I told some of you all at the retreat. For those who went to the retreat last year, I had a goal that I was going to read 36 books. And I read 36 books.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I read 36 books.
Did you read 37 or 36 and a half or something?
You know what? No, I read exactly 36.
Oh, okay.
He said, all right now.
No, I read exactly 30.
Okay.
The thing is like I wanted to do more.
I think that's what I was thinking.
Like I wanted to do more, but it was just like between life and
That's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books, bruh. I was wilding. I don't know what I was thinking.
I got on my whiteboard 3.
You was listening to that propaganda machine. There's like, look, all billionaires read 50 books a year, right? It's that type of
they'll do. But the thing is, like, I was challenging myself. I said, okay, 3 books, 3 books. But also at this time, I was heavy into just like reading books, And so I was like, oh yeah, I can do this easy. But I started running out of books. I was like, oh man, I gotta buy more books, But I wrote it down like, you know what? I am going to read 36 books this year. And it reminded me every time that I felt kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I kind of got discouraged. Oh man, I might not be able to do it. And then I saw that affirmation. I was like, you know what? I got this. Easy money. I got this. And so like I would say my affirmations when I first wake up in the morning, and then after work, and so it's midday, and then before I go to sleep. It's the first thing on my mind when I wake up, and it's on my mind throughout the day. And it's the last thing that I'm thinking about when I go to sleep. And so when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming about the things that I'm affirming. And so that's why affirmations are important, because they help you get to where you want to be.
Look at this comment. I did it, and now I'm an owner-operator. I'm driving right now because of affirmations.
That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to you. What's her name?
Treese?
Trice?
I
don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Treese.
If it's Treese, shout out to you.
It's gotta be Treese. Listen.
Y'all can't. Maybe not
hey,
Mel.
I went to public
schools. I ain't gonna say Mel, but Chris, you with names.
I'm terrible. Okay, I set names, bruh. I'll be like, I don't know what this.
You be like,
name
Steve,
is.
what's his name? Like,
I don't know what this name is. You know what it is? They're like, people pronounce their, like, it don't be
they just
pronounced the way
her
it
name's
reads.
probably Patrice.
Probably,
So,
but it's
Patrice for
that
sure.
that don't matter. The point is, the most important part of this is the benefit of affirmations. And there's one piece that I kind of want to add. So my life has drastically changed as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that it's a life that I never could have imagined, because things are essentially working out exactly the way I planned. But I think that goes to the point, which was, there was, I think y'all might remember, there was an exercise I was doing like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Steve, I don't know if he was here yet. But whenever we were talking about spending money or doing something or whatever, I'd be like, it's all good. I'm rich. I got it.
I've heard you were doing that right as I got here.
Right. Well, at that time, I was being extremely intentional.
And I was like, oh, my man is balling. My man got bread on bread. Let me hold something.
He got money.
He always used to be like, oh, I'm rich. I got
money.
it. I'm rich.
Right.
I can do this. I'm wealthy.
Bro.
I thought it was just you being arrogant.
Nah.
I mean, you had been explaining.
They were affirmations. They were affirmations.
They are. Those are very powerful.
I wasn't balling. I didn't have it like that. But wealth is a mindset. And that's the piece that people miss so often. Okay. First of all, we got to understand dollar bills, that's not even money.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar bills, euros, Bitcoins. Well, these are legal tender. Okay. This is legal tender. It's not money. That's the first thing. So we're placing value on something that we are actually the value. Like, Your dollar only represents the energy that you spent, the energy and time that you spent on XYZ.
Come on now.
That's what your dollar represents. So when you think about it, and I know this sounds cliche, but you are the money. So when I'm saying I'm rich, I'm talking because I am. I'm wealthy. I have a wealthy mindset. Like my goals are about building myself and being a better version of myself. And this is why it's so important to put yourself first, which is essentially what we've been talking about this entire time. Like, especially when it comes to the people that you're around. And, there's so many different elements of this. But like, if you're not going to put yourself first, then don't expect those outcomes that you've been praying for and been asking for and wishing for and hoping, and you see the shooting star and you're like, I wish I may, I wish I might. You're not getting it. You know why? Because you're not willing to put yourself first, and the wealth starts with you. It's all within you. So we're about to start taking questions. If y'all got some questions, throw the questions in the chat. I'm gonna do my best to kind of go and clean up some of the questions that I did see. But I want you all to know that we're going to do something special for those who have been in our R72 challenge, because I think that the combination of the two programs is really, really beneficial. So what we're going to do, if you are already in our R72 program, you all are going to be receiving an email with a discount code to Mel's program so that you could further dive into this information. All right, Mel, what did you say? You wanted to be very intentional with the price point. What did?
Yeah, I want to be very intentional. I mean, because everything has meaning, everything has a purpose. 27% discount for those who are in the rolling 72, which will come to 72.27. Numbers are powerful, man. And if you combine that, 72. 7 and 2 is 9. 2 and 7 is 9. That makes 18. 1 and 8 is 9. So it all encompasses, and there's deeper meanings behind 9, and you can look that up for yourself. But yeah, man,
is 7 your favorite number?
7 is my favorite.
But
number.
9 is one of them?
No.
Okay. Someone who likes 9?
Maine.
Okay. yeah, you're right. All right.
Just so you know, her name is Treese.
Treese. Shout out Treese.
Treese. Well, did we say it wrong?
Yes, you called her Trice.
We only said that once. We said Treese.
Okay.
What'd you call her?
Treese.
Patrice.
I said.
Look at the brothers bickering.
Listen, I don't know if Brother Jay is still in here, but he was blowing up our spot a little while ago. He had some questions. He's new. He wanted to know if he's going to answer his questions. How long does it take to see results? So he's talking about fasting.
What kind of results you looking for?
Yeah, what results are you looking for? Be specific.
All right, so if you can follow up, if you're still in here, wait a minute.
I get it.
He says he's trying to understand how long does it take to see results.
I mean, here's the thing. Because I'm assuming we're talking about fasting, right?
We're probably talking about fasting.
Yeah. So, number one, you're going to start seeing results physically, probably within you will see them before anybody else. You'll see them in your clothes. Your clothes will start fitting a little looser, right? And you will start seeing those probably within the first. If we're talking about a rolling 72, I'll just say within the first 10 days of fasting. Right. So just in general, whether it's water fasting or whether it's a rolling 72, the scale will show you them immediately. You'll see the scale change immediately. But you physically, probably about 10 days, you'll see it in your clothes. Other people will then see the next one. So the next one is probably going to be somewhere around 25 to 30 pounds. And then that's when people are going to be like, hey, you've been working out? That's the question. You've been working out? They always default to that, right? Once again, because we've been taught that working out is how you lose weight, because that is now our default habit, right? That we've been ingrained to believe is how you lose weight. So they always say, you've been losing weight, right? Or you've been working out. So anyway, that's the time frame. Mentality stuff, much longer.
Yeah, mentality stuff. I mean, but hey, listen, I like doing what people think are impossible.
I mean, I'm just saying.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you because of just this. If we look at the data,
Yeah.
if we're just looking at the data. But one of the things that I like about AHA is how people thought it was really unhealthy to lose 30 pounds in a month, or what do they recommend? Like a pound a week?
1 to 2 pounds a week,
right? So
I couldn't. Yeah, right.
So pretty much 8 pounds, maybe 10 if you're really pushing it. So clearly 30 is we used to get that a lot back in the day. But now we're finding that no, it's not that it's unhealthy or bad to lose weight, that much weight. It's all about how, right? So it's not just about getting the outcome, but the path that you take is important as well.
Yeah.
And I think that by being intentional about how we approach things and having an open mind, because like a lot of times the information is going to come to us in a way that we don't expect.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing we got to understand. So
like, wait a minute, I got to pay for a program? Like, bro, like you this is, bro, low key. And I'm not a therapist, right? I got a couple papers. I got some paperwork. Mel does too, right? But you will pay way more for therapy and get way less.
Man, I've paid for so many programs just because I want to become a better person. I want to live a better life, and learning about people who deal with depression, people who deal with anxiety, fear, anger. These are things that I wanted to learn more about. And that's the reason why I implemented a lot of those topics in those courses within the program that's created, because a lot of people deal with things that are internal, and they don't necessarily have an outlet, or it's hard for them to find an outlet or a good outlet where they can be like, man, this resonates with me, because it's really hard, especially if you don't have a good community of people. And that's like one of the beautiful things of a healthy alternative overall, is because you have like-minded people who are all on a journey together. Everyone is seeking to become better versions of themselves. Everyone is talking and posting pictures of themselves, talking amongst one another and encouraging one another. That is a beautiful thing. And that's a beautiful environment to be around, So being able to invest, because like a lot of people, they'll think about it just spending money, but you're investing in yourself. Like you're investing in yourself. Like, because most time people, they'll spend $100, $200 on food that's killing them.
Right.
Bro,
that's killing them.
Go out to a club one night, easily $100.
DoorDash. It only takes one DoorDash with maybe you got a little girl, or you got a dude that you know what I'm trying
maybe
to get?
2, 1.
Bro,
it's so much.
Yeah,
it's so
all
expensive.
Right. I just sent my kids food DoorDash, and it was like $65.
And look, you spend that amount of money on something. People do that daily.
Yeah, you're right.
And then we will have programs or something that's around that price, or even much cheaper. And you're getting more from that.
You'll save money.
You're saving money by saving yourself. So it's just like, I see the benefit in everything that the healthy alternative is doing, man. It's a movement, man. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah,
it's just one thing. The beauty of that is having all that information and then having it packaged, right? It's like all the information, you can go find it for yourself. But if you were going to find it for yourself for free, why haven't you done it yet, right? And a lot of the reasons that we haven't is because, number one, we're unaware that we need that, and then number two, it's difficult to then go out and take a course for depression, or go see a therapist for a relationship or whatever. But I mean, the body has the power to heal itself, and then it can heal its mental state. It can do everything on its own. It's self-sufficient. So having the information packaged in a nice, neat bundle where you don't have to go all over the world trying to find information. It's just like, if you want this, if this resonates, okay, here it is. And then it's going to be provided to you in a way that's easily digestible, right? Just like if you were eating fruits, it's easily digestible, and it's going to then benefit you. Once again, just like if you were eating fruits, it would benefit you. So,
fruity.
Hey man, I'm just dropping tips for it, man.
Hey, man, you know your thizzle.
You know what I'm saying?
I actually, something I see a lot in the financial space, because I love finances. Oh, I love finances.
I know you rich. I'm rich.
One thing I see a lot in the financial space is, hey man, the guru, the financial guru will get a question. Hey man, I got $1,000 right now. What do I spend it on? I said self-improvement.
That's
the
good.
financial gurus will be like, if you got $1,000 right now, open up a Webull account and get this stock. And I'm like, you're gonna waste your money.
Yep.
You don't even understand stocks.
Right.
Bro, you need to spend it on investing in yourself.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's gonna net you any true return.
Correct.
If you look at the people who are successful in life, the reason they're successful in life is because they invest in themselves. Point blank, period. And how do I know this? Because I'm into finances and I'm into people that have millions of dollars or billions of dollars. People who have wealth mindsets have certain habits and belief systems. And even if they don't know what they're doing is affirmations, they do it. If you listen, like if you go to seminars and stuff, they'll be like, they'll ask the guru or the guy, what's your daily, what do you do? What do you do every day? Like, how do you manage? Well, the first thing I do is I wake up and I have a glass of water, and when I go into the bathroom, I'll have a urination, and before I'm gonna brush my teeth, I look myself in the eyes and I say, "You're successful. You're gonna crush it today." Whatever that person needs to hear that day, they wake up and the first thing they do, just like you said, is they speak life into themselves. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of once again, this is why community is so important. We can learn a lot from each other. I want to see if we had some more questions here. But before we do that, we did get a super chat from the Trigger Man.
Shout out Trigger Man.
Steve, did I say that right?
The Trigger Man. T.I.
What? You can see it right here.
Yeah, the Trigger Man.
Trigger Man.
Yeah, don't put the R on it. Put the
Not
GA on
ER.
it. Nah, put the GA on
Trigger.
it. Nah, we ain't the Trigger Man.
Trigger.
It's the Trigger.
Trigger Man.
Trigger. You know what I'm saying? We from the hood. You know
Somebody probably already had Trigger.
But they probably did.
You know what I'm saying? He had to put the hard ER on it.
Yeah.
Sir, you need to relax with the ERs.
Sir, that was a hard ER on that trigger. Or
Um,
maybe he's purposely triggering people.
Triggering people to do positive things.
Oh, okay.
Look at this one. You don't buy things with money.
Man, I've been
Talk
telling-
about
I've been
it, Tierra.
I've been telling people, like, time is you need time in order to make money. If you don't have time, you can't make money, right? So we want to put money as the most primary thing or the biggest thing. But it's like, no, you need to focus on time and then being efficient with that time. And if you do that, then you can make more money, right? So
Mhm.
she's dead on.
Yeah, I make more money now than I ever had.
We all have the same 24 hours.
I'm not even close. It's not even close now because, like, basically for the past 7 years, I've been investing in myself in many different ways. A lot of the things Mel talked about, a lot of things Steve talked about, and also just working nonstop.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Busy, man. Busy,
For
man.
real.
that's part of it too.
I'd be like, hey, Chris, you need to take a break.
yeah, it don't gotta be that way.
I'm sending
That's
him
just
on-
my way.
I'm going to send him on a vacation. Well, I'm saying I'm not paying for it, but I'm going to send him
Okay,
because he's rich.
Me?
So- yes.
you're gonna send me,
Yeah.
but you're not paying.
No.
You're gonna take away my laptop.
Yeah. No, you can take your laptop.
Oh,
I
can
know
take
how
it-
you.
Oh well,
I
I'm gonna
know-
work while I'm
Okay, well
gone.
then no, you can't take your laptop. But yeah, you need 3 days, man. Not
Alright.
yet, right now. We grinding right now, but
We got this other challenge coming up. All right. What do you think is greater for overall benefits, a raw diet or fasting?
oh, I'll answer that. A raw diet. Oh, long. Now let me explain. Based upon your question, you said greater overall benefit. I'm thinking long term, right? That's what my brain thinks. 'Cause I'm thinking root cause. So you're going to eat more than you're fasting, right? So if we think about it in that respect, then eating raw long term is going to be more beneficial than fasting long term, because you're going to be eating more. Not just that, eating raw will give you very similar benefits to fasting because of the way that you speed up your the timing of when you eat. So the time of when you eat, your absorption. So a lot of people deal with a lot of issues, and raw foods have the fiber. They help build the gut. They help to clean out the bowels. They have very similar benefits. This is why it's good to combo them together. So If we're talking long term, then focus on raw food. But if we're talking about short term, right? Well, what can I do right now to give me a result? Fasting. But you really need to incorporate both of them together to give you more longevity, more vitality, more energy, more spiritual clarity, more mental clarity. I mean, I can go on and on. But yeah.
I've done the raw diet for like 3 months, and to me it was kind of addicting.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can do this forever.
Yeah.
I can do this forever.
You start eating less.
Yeah.
You feel better.
Yes,
The
man.
bowel movements.
Oh man, listen, I know this. I don't care. I'll talk about
y'all
poop.
need to,
Man, you go to the bathroom and literally it's just everything comes out. Like you're just like, bruh, how did all that come out? You got a little mountain in your toilet. Like that's what it should look like. If you got little pebbles, you got a problem.
Yeah.
If it's liquid, you got a problem. It should come out smooth, right? And it should come out like you should have a nice little mountain in there. Let all that come up out of you.
And a lot of times, the things that you put in your body, it's reflective of the scent that comes out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, if you poop, most people are like, oh, it smells so horrible, it smells bad. You go to like public restrooms, it smells horrible in there.
You know what they eating.
But man, after I have my bowel movement, smell nothing. Or have a light hint of mangoes. It be a light hint of mangoes.
You trying to say, hold on, Mel. You trying to say that your poop smells like a hint of mango?
It smells like poopy mangoes.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna be honest, right? And this is how you know, right? This is how you know what's happening. Poop tells you so much.
It does,
right? I'm doing this juice fast. I mean, if I've actually been farting a lot, right? And I've also been when I do poop, it is terrible. Like it smells. And the reason for that is not necessarily because of what I'm intaking, it's because it's cleansing.
Yeah, get
right?
rid of those toxins.
All of the juice, and we don't have time. We're not gonna get into this right now, but each type of fasting has its own benefit. Its major benefit, and juice fasting is major benefit is cleansing. And it does a really good job of helping to clean out the bowels, and it absorbs quickly. It cleans the biofilm in the bowels, and you're going to smell it. And that's a good thing. But of course, when I'm eating, then it's like mouse. It's nothing, right? Doesn't mean it's a bad thing because I'm not smelling anything, right? That's a good thing. But it's just very interesting that you have to kind of understand the body and how it works, so that way you can then regulate what you're doing or what you're eating. Because if you ate something and it smells really bad, it's probably something that you should not eat. So,
yeah, when you start doing that juice, and this is the reason why we got this in our preparation, that starts to rehydrate that colon and that small intestine, and all of that material, that plastic, all that synthetic stuff, that gunk, that muck, mucoid plaque, it starts to stimulate it. It's interesting because when I was an electrician, we got a lot of OSHA training. Being an electrician is super dangerous.
Safety.
Right.
OSHA safety.
Well, I figured. Okay. I've had OSHA be in a lot of people's business.
They are, man. Don't nobody read that.
Okay.
They put the little poster on the wall.
Yeah.
Nobody read that.
Okay. All right. Well, we had to. Right?
OSHA
we had
safety.
to do like an OSHA 10, I think. I don't know which is. Not Ocean's 10, OSHA 10. Okay. It wasn't the same as the movie.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Shout out George Clooney.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, it was amazing. That whole series. But we were talking about asbestos and how you can actually work around it, so they say, as long as you don't disturb it. Once you disturb it, once you touch it, now the particulates are in the air and it's going to kill you in 20 years, basically. So what's happening in your body is you're going in and you're stimulating that old material. Right now, it ain't being touched. It's okay. But when you start stimulating it, now you're gassy. Now you're bloated, right? Now you're having really weird bowel movements. All of this stuff needs to be understood going into it, so it don't freak you out.
Because it will.
Yeah.
You'll be like, wait a minute. Why do my farts smell like this? And it's like, well, because you have that astringent juice, that citrus, right? The ginger, the turmeric, right? The pineapple is going in, and it's if you eat too much pineapple, right, it starts to basically your tongue starts to burn or
starts
whatever.
to melt,
right? I mean, literally, the reason that your tongue gets that way, gets that itchy feeling, is because pineapple is so powerful and it has such potent enzymes in it and the acids, it actually starts eating your tongue,
Mhm.
right? So what happens is what happens then when you then ingest it? It goes into the body, and then it starts to then clean the bowels. It starts to clean the colon. You start to have weird stuff start coming out, right? You start releasing parasites. There's all this stuff that starts happening because of what you're eating. And yes, it's going to smell. That's a good thing. If you're
Mhm.
just eating day to day and it smells, that's a bad thing. So
This is the importance of you know what I mean, be able to get this stuff, you know, packaged for you.
Yeah.
oh man is 1 meal a day. So there's go.
Can you guys answer my question? I want to join the fasting program. I want to lose 40 pounds. I guess I missed your question. I think I saw it earlier. I'll look for it. I'll look for it here. I'm gonna get one of these young gentlemen to answer Brother Jay's question, and I'm gonna look for your question, your original question. Or if you want to put it at the bottom of the chat, that might help me out. One of you guys could take this one.
How I can't is that say how? Is that start with how?
Yeah, how?
How you start? How long does it take to see results? How much water you drink in a day? Can to sub water for inside of vinegar with mother weight lose?
Okay.
You get that, bro.
So all right. So if you are new to I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be concise. If you're new to fasting and you want to start, I'm going to be just completely honest. You need to join the R72 program. I'm sure, have you dropped the link for that yet?
It's in the description.
It's in the description. It starts on February 2nd. Number one, you need to join it. The questions are great questions. It's very difficult to answer them in a timely fashion because my answers are going to cause more questions. But I mean, to answer the questions, right? You're going to start with preparation. You're going to start seeing results within the first week. Right? I can't see anymore.
Wow.
Oh, I can see on my phone. You're going to start seeing results within the first week. You should be drinking 1 gallon of water a day. Can you sub water for vinegar? Okay, apple cider vinegar. I think that's what that means, right? So you can't sub anything when water fasting, but you can add some apple cider vinegar in there if you want to. So apple cider vinegar is good for the gut. Make sure it has the mother in it. So
I think that's what because in this question I think it says something about mother as well.
So I just want to try to be concise as possible with that answer, but because I can answer that same question for an hour.
Yeah. These, you know what I'm saying? Look, we got to start going live more often. I think that's what we just need to do. Let's see here. How can I get a session with Chris for the stronghold? Then Steven
For the tears, to wipe my tears.
Why do I gotta be the one? Why do I gotta be the one that's always wiping tears? Everybody comes to me. Why do you?
Hey
come
man,
to
you
Chris.
got emotional intelligence, man.
Nah, man, y'all come to me with all the problems, and you give Chris all the. I want to go to Chris first, get all the information, and then I want to go to Steven. I mean, I'm joking, but Chris always sends me.
It's all about our specialties.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of the live tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like we all we all specialize in something different. We all have a different bandwidth. But this is the beauty of it, not just being one person.
Yeah, Chris can't do it. He couldn't do this by himself.
So, yeah. So anyway, to answer your question,
sorry, go ahead.
There's you could go to a healthyalternative.org. I would say org just like that because people be like healthyalternative.com. No, healthyalternative.org. That's our main website, and then you can find the Work With Us tab, and you can book a session there. And I'll refer you to Steven when I'm finished. So don't even worry
for
about
the tears.
How much is the program, Mel?
Program is $99. And for those who are, like we said earlier, for those who are in the Rolling 72 challenge, if you'll get an email for that discount code and 27%. It'll be 7227. We talked about the numbers. I believe Ayana earlier brought up the meaning of 9. So shout out to you, Ayana.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so make sure y'all check that out. And another good benefit of the program is that once you get it, it's yours. But also there will be additional content added, and there's no extra cost to that. You know, so as I learn, as people give feedback and like, man, I want to learn more about this. I want to touch more on this. There'll be more content that's going to be provided. So it's definitely
That's good.
It's definitely a steal.
I didn't know that.
He says
It's definitely a steal. It's definitely a steal.
They
But
on a swindle.
I'm looking out for y'all, man.
They on a swindle.
Y'all on a swindle, but it's okay. I'm okay with being swindled. You know what I mean?
What about the people that are signed up for the R72 starting in February? You gonna extend the offer to them?
If y'all are signed up for the R72 in February, you know what? Hey, Chris, Steve, you know what I'm gonna do?
What you gonna
Gonna
do,
do
man?
that.
I'm gonna drop that discount on.
Hey,
Go
man, drop
ahead.
that discount.
Go
man.
ahead.
Party going.
You gonna
Man,
get an email too.
Keep the party going.
You get an email. You get an email.
Everybody gonna get the email for that discount code, man.
Whoa.
Well, everyone who signed up for the Roll 72. You got to keep rolling.
They
You know what I
just,
mean?
you know what I'm saying? They go really well together.
Yeah.
They go really well together. Okay. I have a hanging belly. Will fasting help tighten that up, Steve?
Yes. Now, let me say this because someone just posted in the group with a very similar question. You have to understand that your stomach is where most of your visceral fat is. So it's the primary location of your fat. Your fasting is going to attack the largest area first. So you are going to see the most weight loss or fat loss in those areas. But also the body's intelligent. So it's not going to just straight focus on your stomach, right? So I have women that that I work with, and they're like, I'm just trying to get snatched. I don't want to lose my butt. I don't want to lose my breasts. You know what I mean? I just want to try to get snatched. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. We can't control where the fat is lost, but the body will equally lose fat amongst the body. And for the most part, and I know this is something that people ask as well, you typically will shrink in the same shape that you are. So for some, that's a good thing. For some, maybe not so much, right? So for that may mean you have to do some gym work afterwards. But if you have a shape and you have a curvy figure, you will continue to keep that shape. It'll just be smaller, right? If you want to change, that area even more, you're going to have to fast a little more. And then also you have the option, especially if you have issues in the belly, then you also have to realize that part of the issue is not just fat that's actually hanging over, it's also your bowels. So your bowels are flooded, they're filled, and they're pushing out your stomach also. So what we do is, of course, you go through the fasting, and then of course you lose, whatever it is you need to lose. And then we can move you into juice fasting, which then helps to cleanse the bowels, which then brings that stomach in even more. So it'll help show less push out, and the fact that whatever you have remaining, then of course you can continue fasting, right? Through dietary changes, staying hydrated, then all those things will assist. But yes.
Yeah. Link for the Mel, what's the name of your program?
The name of my program is Let's Get Animated, and it's a guide to animate your life.
A guide to animate your life.
And
So
animating your life meaning is that you're moving towards your purpose. You're
Yeah.
not being stagnant. There's constant motion, constant purpose to walking into your purpose and becoming the best version of yourself.
Yeah, living a purpose.
That is what it means to get animated. So get animated.
I like that.
yeah, I was wondering about the title because I know it's a play off of
Yeah, I am animated Mel.
right, your name and everything, but I also wanted to know how you was gonna tie that all.
So
in.
wait a minute, if I get animated, I get Mel too?
Hey,
Uh-oh.
hold on. Hold on.
I mean, he's single. So.
Put a business out there. How much water? Because you can gain weight by water. A gallon of water is my recommendation, and you really don't gain weight by drinking water when you hydrate with water, right? There's a difference between drinking water and hydrating.
Yeah.
Hydrating, we assume we're hydrating because we're drinking water, and that's unfortunately not the case. So we teach you guys how to make your water more hydrating, so you don't have to worry about water retention, inflammation, and all the other stuff that comes along. Because believe it or not, most of y'all's water is toxic. 99% of people's water is toxic.
Man.
99%.
That 99% is heavy tonight.
Brother Jay, shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out, Brother Jay.
Brother Jay got to book a session.
Yeah, you got it.
Brother Jay, you got to
I
book a
could-
session.
I could taste the plastic in the water. How do you get rid of it?
Don't drink that water.
Come on now, listen.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, don't hope you're not drinking in with like faucet or tap water, because American water, they naturally just put stuff. You can probably watch on the news or where they show that they're literally putting chemicals and fluoride and all this different stuff in our water, because it makes you want more, and it's putting more bad stuff in you, man. So drinking was the distilled water, distilling your water,
Buy a distiller.
get a distiller, you know, there's a difference, because at Walmart they have like these filters, because I bought one just to test it out, but you can
filter,
but you can still taste the stuff, and I'm just like, this isn't good, man.
You know, the Walmart.
You think
filters,
what you think they're gonna let you take out the stuff they put in there? No, they're going to
for a reason.
They're going to manipulate you to think it's being taken out because you're not testing it.
Right.
I got a Brita. It takes out everything. No, it doesn't.
No. So distilling your water and drinking water that's in glass, you know, or if you're putting water in the glass, make sure it's like sun water and things of that nature, because it'll alkalize it and get rid of those toxins.
Right. So put your plastic jug water into a clear glass jar and put it out in the sun. Not right now because it's freezing.
Yeah, it's cold outside.
But put it outside in the sun and it will charge the water, number one. Number two, it will break down the inorganic compounds in the water, which is the plastic taste. And of course, you got to use glass so that more chemicals don't leach into it. So the sun is an amazing tool for that.
Yeah, utilize the sun, glass, and water.
Use what you got, you know what I'm saying, to get what you need and getting gotten.
Wait, what?
What you need? If you need something, you got to use what you got, and then you'll get it.
Gibbity gobbity goobity.
Do you guys do any raw dieting? This might be an older one, because we talked.
Yeah, I think we all have done raw dieting.
Oh yeah, I did 14 days. I did 14 days of raw, and I felt the same. I'm like, bro, this is a cheat code.
Yeah,
it really is.
The only thing about raw for me, and why I haven't made the commitment, is because I really do spend a lot of time in another space in my life.
Yeah,
right. Focusing on building the brand and all of that type of stuff.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment.
It's definitely a commitment.
But the thing is, though, is that I am the kind of the spearhead of making that lifestyle for us.
Right.
Because we all done it, but I'm like, no, I'm going to live this way.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the reason why I specifically chose a juice fast as my next fast was to then help prepare to live as a raw vegan. So this is when we start talking about like long-term raw vegan, there's a whole nother world that we have not really opened up to.
Well,
yet.
we're locksmithing right now. We're working on this lock. We about to make a key.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But we're creating it for you, because more and more people are like, wait, what's raw? Like, what's the benefit? Okay, we got you. So, but yeah, we've all done it. We all do it time to time as well. But I am actively working on being a fully raw vegan. So
beautiful.
I just want to let y'all know we're if you have a question that we have not gotten to, you just really want us to see it. It's a lot of questions, there's a lot of comments. Super chat. If you super chat, we will see it. Okay, I'll get all super chats. I'm gonna run through the rest of the questions I got on my list though.
Hit them things, man. Go ahead. Do the Chris thing.
Do the Chris thing.
Just do the Chris thing. Boom, 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 boom.
I currently weigh 180 and want to lose 40 pounds, but I need help with controlling my eating habits. When do I start my fasting? So, obviously, this is kind of the topic. It's a big question. I'm going to encourage you to lean into a light fasting regimen, something like the rolling 72, where you would fast for a maximum of 3 days. But before you do any fasting, and this is going to help you make this more sustainable, you need to do preparation first.
Yes.
Now, I have many videos on YouTube talking about how to prep for R72. You can literally just look it up. A healthy alternative, R72. Just look it up. You'll see the videos, or you can obviously see them on the channel. So you do your prep, and then once you do your prep, you just start doing the rolling cycles. You're going to fast for 3 days. You're going to eat. You're going to fast for 3 days. This is a great place to start, which is why we created the R72 challenge, because the goal is to make things more sustainable. So I understand money is a concern for some people. Everybody has a different lifestyle. So the goal is to always make information available for you all, whether you have the money to join a program or not. If you all are serious and you really want to do this, and you just simply don't have the money to join the challenge, all the information is for free on YouTube. I'm telling you, I know, because I wrote the program. Like, it's all in there. You just gotta, listen, start binge watching. That's
the only thing you should be binging.
That's all that time you be spending on Instagram, not you personally, but all that time we be spending on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Let's binge watch
And TikTok.
What's the best eating window for R72? Do you guys usually do OMAD or eat for some hours? The best eating window is going to be from noon, right, to probably about 4 p.m., whatever your local
I was
time.
gonna give him 5. See, I thought I was the mean one. I was gonna give him 5.
Well, 5 gives them enough time to get home, right?
You know what I'm saying? Dang, maybe where do they work?
I mean,
man? Can it get?
The question was, what's optimal? Like,
Okay, that's all right.
you know what
you're
I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
It's not about, if I was coaching you, yeah, you just want to eat at least 2 hours before you go to sleep.
Yeah, but if you work a normal 9 to 5, right, and you can't, make it, you got to make this make sense for you, right? 12 to 4 would be optimal. That means take that same information and apply it to your life. So make sure that you're eating prior to bed. If you don't get home until 5 o'clock and you don't normally eat at work, that doesn't mean wait until 5 o'clock to start eating and give yourself till 9, right? That just means, well, then have a late lunch and then have an early dinner. So
yeah, and also OMAD we do definitely promote OMAD on R72
for sure.
It depends on it. There's levels to it.
Yeah.
What are the outcomes you're looking for? What are your timelines? There's a lot of ways we can approach this. When's the next challenge start?
February 2nd.
February 2nd. What's that? 4 days? 3 days?
It starts
2.
Thursday.
3 days.
Yeah, whatever Thursday
Tuesday,
is.
Wednesday, Thursday. 3 days from now.
We don't use calendars anymore, so we don't know.
Time is a man-made.
Oh, I thought tomorrow was the 1st.
Time's a human construct.
It's a human construct.
Yep. Link is in the chat, y'all, for both programs. If you sign up for the R72, we'll send you an email to give you a discount on Animate Your Life.
Animate your life.
Did I just skip one? Can you lose 25 pounds in 1 month eating OMAD and being a vegan? Yeah, as long as you're doing raw.
But also,
I mean, there's a lot of factors that play into this. Go ahead, Mel.
I'm gonna say also,
I know what he's about to go with.
yeah, I just say like vegan. Don't confuse vegan with everything that's considered vegan is healthy for you, because they have a lot of foods they say is organic and vegan that are healthy, like the Beyond Meat and the Impossible Burger,
Beyond Beef Jerky,
and all this stuff.
You better stop attacking Bill Gates' sandwich. Do y'all know Bill Gates has like a ton of money invested in Beyond or Impossible?
I'm not surprised.
The vaccine king.
I'm not surprised, because you have to think. If these Beyond and all this stuff that says vegan, this stuff was created a few years ago. It was created.
Wait, it wasn't.
It doesn't come from the earth. It comes from a lab. So a lot of times people confuse vegan with being healthy, when a lot of times a lot of vegans don't give that the proper representation of what being healthy is. So don't eat a lot of those vegan, eat plants, vegetables, fruits, things that grow, things that don't have an expiration date or
ingredient list,
or ingredient that's
or
like
red 5. What is it? Red 5?
Man, I don't know, man. It's
It has
like red 5,
50
yellow 5,
Yellow
yellow
5.
5.
if it's processed, like it's granted it tastes good, but it's chemically processed to taste that way for a reason. So vegan lifestyle, do not confuse that as it's being healthy unless you're eating fruits and veggies constantly.
The thing is that being a vegan and a raw vegan are basically like this.
Yeah.
They're very close,
Very similar.
The difference is that one of them you can cook and the other one you don't. And that's when a dehydrator comes in, which is definitely not cooking. But it gives you a little something.
Changes the mouthfeel.
Yeah, it changes the mouthfeel a little bit, and it gives you a few more options. But somebody said in the chat, yes, some vegan food is on the market. It's not processed. Okay, and there was another one. Oh, all or most vegan food is processed, and that's yes. Now, when we're talking about vegan, we're talking about whole food, plant-based vegan food. So what that means is it comes from the ground or it comes from the sky, right? Or
Sky,
a tree.
the tree.
Like the,
I mean, I'm thinking about an apple falling from a
Was that
tree.
Chicken Little or something?
right.
Like
The
that?
guy's falling.
Like that's when we talk about or when we say whole food plant-based, that's what we're talking about. Which what's happening is this label is plant-based on all these foods to get you to think,
They're tricking you, man.
oh my God, the
They're
deception is
tricking you.
crazy.
They are
The
tricking
propaganda
you.
machine?
And it
I
is-
mean, it is
that is
crazy.
upsetting, man. Because we should not be eating these things that says vegan, because vegan was originally like, hey, it's healthy and all
Yeah.
this stuff. But now the
The
mainstream,
Bill Gates of the world have
they're
got a hold
putting
of it.
labels
Oh,
on all
man.
this stuff,
It's-
man.
It's
Impossible Burger.
crazy.
So just please be very careful about that stuff, because they'll label it plant-based on the front, but if you look at the back, it'll say contains milk, contains all this stuff. You'd be like, what? It's
Yeah.
confusing, So I understand the confusion when it comes to that vegan label, but please be very cautious of those labels, man.
This is why self-improvement is an investment is important, because you need to, you may say, well, I want to go vegan, but then you're eating processed food all day,
yeah,
and now you're gaining weight, and you're like, oh, this doesn't work. I might as well just eat meat. Like, bro, you weren't actually vegan.
it's nothing but chemicals.
So
And also, let's not forget, Steve, because this is something that you hone in on. When you start changing your diet, because some people are going to be like, all right, well, shoot, I can do whole food plant-based. You also have to understand that your microbiome is not used to eating that way, right?
Yeah.
The microbiome's used to eating pot pies and KFC and whatever else. So you're going to feel a little discomfort. Getting healthy doesn't always mean feeling better all the time.
most of the time, it don't feel good at all, especially in the start.
It's literally like, yo, if you break your arm and you go to the doctor to get it set, it's gonna be real painful before
Yeah.
it starts feeling better.
He's not giving you a shot. He's like, it's going to hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
So going raw vegan or even vegan, yes, there is going to be some discomfort unless you are used to eating that way. But if you're going that way, you're probably not used to eating that way. So you have a gut microbiome, you have bacteria that is used to breaking down pizza and burgers and chicken wings, and your body says, okay, well, I can break this down. It never will do it efficiently, but it can do it. But then you start all of a sudden introducing all this fiber and all these plants and all these vegetables and all this fruit. Your body's gonna be like, bro, what is all
What
this?
is this?
Like, what is all this foreign
I'm not
material?
used to this.
Right? Like your colon is there's a reason that your intestines are so long. All the food that's been broken down, it just goes through the intestine, and then your body is absorbing it. But if it's filled with sludge and biofilm and mucoid plaque from eating meat and dairy our entire lives and mucus, it can't even absorb the foods that you're actually putting in you that are good. This is why if you try to start eating raw vegan and you start getting bloated, it is a clear indication you need to do a juice fast, right? That means you need to clean out the system. You need to clean out the body. And on a deeper level, right? Fasting is fantastic, right? But there's levels to this, right? You can start however you want to start. We start with water fasting. That's fantastic. That's great, right? If you decide that you want to go even further, then we have other options. So,
Okay, let's see here. Hi, fellas.
Hey,
what's
Hi.
up? What's good?
I heard that the older you are, the harder it is to lose a visceral fat.
What does visceral mean?
Steve knows what visceral fat is.
It's essentially it is just regular fat.
Is
So
there any
there's-
truth to that?
I have not seen that. Okay, let me say this. Yes, that is my answer. Yes, it is harder the older you get. Caveat: if you are trying to lose weight the standard American way, if you're trying to lose weight by going
Diet
to
and
the gym,
exercise.
dieting, cutting calories, your body's not going to respond. Why? Because if you're 50, 60, 70, and you haven't been taking care of your health, I mean, you have to imagine this like a car. If a car is 30 years old, it's not going to run as efficient as it was when you first drove it off the lot, right? So if you are
Unless you got a lemon.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And it's
So
inefficient
if
the
you
whole
are
time.
if your body's already in distress and you are also using a very low of efficiency way to then lose weight, you're never going to lose weight. It's never going to work. So the answer is yes. But if you are fasting and if you are eating a plant-based diet, right, that is full of fruits and vegetables, you will start seeing weight just fall off of your body. You will start rehydrating your skin. When you start rehydrating the skin, you start looking younger, right? You start to increase vitality. So the answer is really no.
No.
It's a myth.
The answer is no, but efficiency is key. And this is what sets AHA as a brand apart, because
Shout out Chris James.
I run a tight ship. I don't like inefficiency. If I'm gonna spend my time and energy on something, I want to get the most out of it. Like, for example, if my friends, they'll be like, "Yo, Chris, we're gonna get you a gift or something," I'll be like, "Don't get me something I don't like."
Right.
Like, that's how I am. Like, don't even waste your time. It's gonna waste my time. I gotta pretend like I like it. Don't even waste your time. We want to be efficient here. Ask me, just ask me. Chris? What do I? If you don't know, what do I want?
Surprise you.
No, don't surprise me, because if you get me something I don't want, I'm gonna be mad. So anyway,
You're gonna be surprised.
that efficiency mindset that I have has driven me to, when I learn information that's like beneficial, I'm like, yo, this is dope. I dive deeper. I challenge my own information all the time. It's a constant refining process. You know what happens when you challenge your own information?
What happened?
You find out how rock solid it is. So the reason we teach what we teach, the way we teach it, all right, and this is not a shot. I'm gonna put a preface on this.
No
This
shots.
is not a shot. The reason I don't teach carnivore diet, the reason I don't teach traditional keto, the reason why I don't teach a lot of alternative fasting methods, things that you may have seen, different cleanses and stuff, is because, yes, does it work for some people? Yes. Is it great for some people? Yes. But how many people can use it and get the benefit? How sustainable is it? My thing is, we have people ranging from 13 years old to 73 years old. You know what I mean? So I gotta, like, how can I target everybody? I know it's not realistic. It's not what you're supposed to do, but I do it anyway.
And it works.
So whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're 100 pounds overweight or 50 pounds overweight,
or 200 or 300
or 200, it doesn't matter. The information is going to work for you. Now, there's a lot of information. So, guidance, sometimes is necessary, because you those nuances are hard to deal with. I think we have one more. If exclusively water fasting long term, 70 to 100 days.
Okay, well, first of all, you're not playing no games.
No games. This is 0 to 100.
That's just 100.
It's 100.
That's just 100.
You did 65 days, right?
I did.
So
you talking about
were
70?
Not one to talk.
No. I worked up to that.
Yeah.
I know one person that fasted that long off rip. That was Timmy.
Broderick.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Broderick.
I said I know. One person.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So, do you recommend taking vitamins? Is it necessary, or can you just go strictly water for the duration? I'm gonna start. Steve, you can pick up if you want. So, traditionally speaking, I don't recommend vitamins, just because most people don't take the right type of supplements. So there's no difference between eating synthetic food or taking synthetic vitamins. They're both going to be bad for you. There's going to be some allure to it. You might see some benefit, but ultimately it's going to work that liver. It's going to work them kidneys. It's going to work against you. And you got to keep taking it, because if you stop, you don't get any benefit. So make sure that if you're going to use vitamins, use whole vitamins. Now, I'm perfectly okay with whole vitamins. I just had a hard time getting that across to, 200,000 people that watch the show or whatever. You know what I mean? A lot of people miss those nuances. So for a long time, I taught no vitamins. We did recently start working with a nutraceutical company, because their supplements were just insane. And
they work.
They work. So we've been playing with fasting and using those, which, if you guys have been part of the R72 challenge, you already know. And so we've tested those a lot. Steven's done a lot of the testing,
Yeah, man. Why am I the guinea pig?
You
I
the
didn't
lab
get paid
rat,
for
man.
this.
You the lab rat.
You technically do. Yeah. You
Oh.
kind of actually do.
I need to
No, I
You
need
want
I
you
need a
want
stipend.
He said I need an extra $1.
Yeah.
So it really, in my opinion, I'm gonna let Steve if he wants to add, but in my opinion, you can do it. It can be beneficial if it's done right, but you don't have to do it.
I mean, I have basically the same answer. There's just one little nuanced piece I want to add to that, and this is I'm strictly. Let me be clear. I'm strictly talking about 40 to 50 plus days. Okay, when I give this answer, if you are fasting for that amount of time, as Chris said, do you need them? No. Can you go 60 days without them? Yes. Like electrolytes, vitamins, all that stuff is stored within the body. Number one, go outside and get sunlight every day. So if you are going to be trying to do a fast that long, there's some things that you do need to know, because you need to set yourself up for success. So number one, you have to just understand that you're not hurting yourself and you're not going to get deficient in vitamins. If you're deficient, you're already deficient. You're not going to get deficient from fasting, which means you have absorption issues, which that's another conversation. But one of the things that I did, because I didn't take vitamins, but every once in a while I'd have a little shot of pickle juice, right? And there's sodium in it. There's that, and that was my thing.
You can also do sea moss.
I mean, you can also do sea moss. Pickle juice worked for me.
Right.
I also have sea moss, and I will take it. But when I was over that 40-day range, if I did feel like I needed something, then it was typically a little shot of pickle juice. But honestly, it wasn't all the time. It wasn't every day, and it wasn't because I felt like I needed it. It was more because I was just continuing to extend it, and I said I just want to go longer. So,
Steve, when you do sea moss, are you just taking a tablespoon? Because
I mean, I don't measure it, but yeah, I use this tablespoon.
Because Mel, am I mistaken when I think you talking like a nice amount, almost like a sea moss smoothie?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but I probably do like 2
tablespoons.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do sea moss, water, and then a little squeeze of lemon, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like blend it or something, get it like so it's not just chunky in there.
Yeah, because
I mean,
when I've seen people, well, a long time ago, when I was learning about monofasting, people would do sea moss smoothies.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's a lot of sea moss, but I mean,
It's a lot of sea
I mean,
moss.
it's fine, but yeah, you don't need them. That's the thing that you need to understand.
Yeah,
You don't need them. If you're going to take them, you need to take a whole food vitamin. Focus on sodium, magnesium, potassium.
Does it matter how much fruit one eats when eating raw? Age 60. Do I need to count calories? No, you do not need to
No.
count calories because you're eating fruit. Look at that. So now that we're start dealing with natural foods, we don't have the same restrictions as we do with synthetic foods. I would have fun when you're switching this to fruit. Have fun, but also remember that fruit doesn't necessarily mean a sweet fruit, right? You can do low glycemic fruits. There's plenty of them. You might have seen one, a bell pepper or cucumber,
An avocado.
Avocado. There's plenty of them. So I just don't worry about it.
Have at it.
I did a live yesterday, I think, talking about it. So if you go into my videos and look at my live from yesterday, I talked a little bit about it as well as some other topics, questions you guys have asked. So you might want to check that out.
And also, you don't necessarily have to eat so much fruit that it it replaces what you normally eat.
Yeah,
just
there you go.
eating so much fruit, be like,
Yeah.
man, I gotta match what I used to eat, because you'll be hydrated from that stuff naturally. So once you get into the habit of just eating fruits, your body will let you know.
And here's the thing, right? When you talk about calories, you don't need to count calories like the world is telling you when you're doing fruits or raw. But what you do need to do is you need to make sure you don't overeat. And that's very important to understand. And that's going to take time. You're going to, well, once again, you have to create a better habit because we have a habit of overeating, and that's the way that we should feel. But that's a bad habit, and that's not good, because if you are overeating, then you can gain weight. It doesn't matter what you're eating. If you are overeating, which means you're full, but you're still stuffing food inside of you, it will cause a problem. So not a problem, but it'll just
the problem comes from digestion.
right. Yeah.
Because if you're digesting well, if you've done the
Well,
work to cleanse yourself,
Yeah.
then you could do it. But 99% of you,
But what I'm
99%
saying,
of
what
it.
99% of people are,
We're
you
wrong
know,
about
but
habits.
what I'm saying is that if you sit down and you have a whole watermelon that's really big,
With seeds.
even if you're digesting it fast, you're going to get full. That doesn't mean you can still keep eating it. Now, will that cause you to gain weight? No, that won't. But just in general, the generalized statement is don't overeat.
yeah, it's a mental thing.
Because you can overeat when on raw, and that was something that I was dealing with right along my journey because I didn't realize the amount of fiber that was in it and how full it would make me. So that's something that there's a nuance thing, but you know we'll have some stuff for you.
Chris, I'm curious why you always recommend distilled water. Is it okay to use water with electrolytes added, or alkaline water, or coconut water? So I always recommend distilled water because it's optimal. If you were here, I don't know if you've been, how long you've been in the chat, but if you were here maybe about 10 minutes ago, I was talking about how the goal of AHA is not just to teach good information that works for some people, it's to teach holistic information that is the most efficient stuff we know right now. Distilled water is my water of choice because typically you have to make it at home yourself, or at least if you get it from the store, there's already been a purification process done to it. When you deal with spring water, electrolyte water, smart water, things of that nature, there's stuff in it. Usually they add stuff to it. Now just think about it. Who's going around adding stuff to water in nature?
Look up for the word fortified.
Oh my God. Fortified is if you see fortified, that's bad.
It sounds like a good
It sounds
thing.
good, but that's the point. The propaganda machine, he's like, yo, if we put fortified on it, they'll think it's good. So it's because it's optimal, right? And everybody can get a very similar product. Also, distilled water is like a sponge. It helps to cleanse the body. Water is supposed to clean you out. And everybody is teaching, no, water is supposed to put stuff in you. Okay, whatever, I guess.
Where we're at.
The only reason why water needs quote unquote, minerals and things like that is for absorption reasons. And your body has it. But you can make your water more, you can increase its ability to hydrate you by doing, simple things to it. We talked about a little bit earlier. But distilled water is pure water, and that's why I talk about it. It's holistically it's better. Now, if you got a well, or if you live near a natural spring, yes, that'll be better. But
99% of people
they
don't
live next to that. So we gotta do what we gotta do with what we got.
You got a well in your backyard, I'm coming over.
But you can use coconut water. I do recommend drinking it fresh from the coconut. Coconut water is a whole different beast. It is a whole food liquid, one of the only whole food liquids out there.
I'll say clarify that, because when you say it's okay to drink coconut water, I
Mhm.
mean you got to understand that because it is a whole food liquid, it does change your fasting.
She didn't specify she was fasting.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, I just assumed, but
yeah. So whole food liquid, powerful stuff. Check out my interview with Chef Kepra. It's on, just look up a healthy alternative, Chef Kepra, and you'll learn more about it. I know we rocking out. Will the root products mess with autophagy? No, that's the testing that Steven was doing. Oh, y'all are playing. They keep throwing chats, these super chats in here now.
Go and get them things.
Okay, all right, we're gonna clean up these little super chats, and we out of here. Y'all trying to hold us in.
I mean,
We got stuff to do now. Come
I'm
on
sleepy.
now. Mel is sleepy.
I've been up since 5:45 in
Here we
pain.
Virginia.
Lobot.
You all right?
I'm.
It's kind of man.
Does the name usually be in
Yeah,
there? Okay, I'm tripping.
or maybe it doesn't.
I don't think it do. I was like, what is this?
No, it doesn't.
What is this word?
That was
Okay.
That's why I confused you.
So
Yeah.
how do you stretch the 3 days fast when you're fainting and going into the 4th day and beyond? Hand orange covering eyes.
Okay, shit, that's an emoji.
Why is it doing that?
So first of all, I would number one, I would just ask, like, because when we say fainting, you got to understand who we are, right? When you say fainting, are you talking about I'm literally fainting? I have fainted, or are you saying you just feel faint? Because there's a difference.
Or
If
you
you're
feel like you're about to, lightheaded.
feeling faint or lightheaded, right?
Yeah.
I know very few people who have actually fainted on their fasting. I have almost fainted.
I've heard of one, maybe two.
Right. I mean, it is very uncommon. So I'm
It
gonna,
happens.
I have to. I said it happens.
Mhm.
But that means that typically means you're overworking yourself or you're overstrenuating yourself. But anyway, I'm gonna go off of the assumption that you're talking about feeling faint. Typically that is going to it's a detox symptom. Which means, especially on day 3, if you just getting into fasting, you need to take it easy. You need to relax. And if you can't break that 3-day stretch, or if you're at 3 days and you break it every time, that means that, number one, you don't have I can't say, oh, we'll just push through, right? If I can give you a practical solution for that, it would be to have somewhere between 8 to 16 ounces of green juice or coconut water, and that will help you get through that 3rd day and move into day 4, which then helps process and get past that level or that wave of detox you're experiencing, and that will then allow you to then move further in. So just to give you a practical solution, that's what I would suggest.
And prep, and so that
Well,
you can. We can
that was a good answer.
we can get ahead. No, your answer was good too, because
Okay.
that's a real time answer, right?
Yeah.
But we could get ahead of it. We got to be efficient. This is efficiency. That's why I teach things the way I teach it, because I know this. I've been talking to y'all for years, so I know all of this. Cheyenne. Mel, go ahead, because you seem to be
Shout out Cheyenne. How you doing, baby girl? Let's see. Hey guys, can you please share your advice for individuals who are addicted to eating? Woo! Now, the question that I would ask is, why are you addicted to eating? What's happening that's making you become addicted to eating? And a lot of things that we eat are addictive. They have addictive chemicals, and they have addictive ingredients within them. I know for myself that eating potato chips, it was very, very addictive. I was just, like, some people are emotional eaters, and like I'm a cognitive eater, which means is when I'm thinking, or if I'm trying to solve something, I need something to reach for, and I'm chewing on something,
That's still emotional eating.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's emotional.
I mean, I love the way that you said it, but
he put some.
I mean, the way you said
sauce on it.
I mean, but
He put some sauce on
but it was almost like he didn't want to say he was an emotional eater. But I mean, it's still
because it's okay.
But no, I got you though.
But
it was good. It was good.
You have to find a good substitution for those things that you're eating. So, for instance, in my case, I don't eat potato chips anymore. Instead, I eat dried mangoes.
Had to get in the aisle a little bit.
Yeah, I had to go through the aisle, get some dried mangoes. So, like, we like to eat. Eating it tastes like, man, it's just like it's a pleasure.
We have a mouth for. I mean, we have teeth.
Yeah,
there's a reason we're supposed to
buds, eat. We got tongues and we taste stuff. It tastes good. So being able to find a good substitution. And able to find a good substitution for what you're eating. So in my case, I substituted with dried mangoes or sometimes popcorn. I don't find those things as addictive or anything like that. So being able to find something that you can sub would be something that I would advise you to do.
Excellent, man. Listen, I was gonna let Mel have the last word anyway, so this works out perfect. I mean, I guess
perfect.
Guess I planned it that way. Listen, it's been fun, y'all. I know y'all have fun.
I have fun.
I enjoy myself. I thank you all for tuning in and rocking out with us, man. And all the donations and all the questions. We appreciate y'all. Extremely grateful for you.
Yeah. We'll have to do it again. Make sure to check the comment section and the description box and all that if you guys are interested in joining the R72 and getting a discount on Mel's program, or if you just really resonate with Mel's program and you just want to get it a la carte.
Yeah,
you could do that. You could do that too. All the links, everything's in there, y'all.
Oh my man, just dropping a
With that being said, I hope you all hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, the application of knowledge is power. And we out of there.
Hit him with the outro. There's no outro to stop.
There's no outro.